Hey everyone, welcome to or back to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, and my name is Brooke. I am not wearing this really cool headband just for style. It's actually Canada Day and I'm Canadian. Hello, buddy. Oh. Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm filming this on Canada Day, so even if you're not Canadian, happy Canada Day, and I'm going to be wearing this really cool headband for the whole video. I'm totally kidding. No, I'm not. Again, if you're new, welcome to my channel. This is Brooke and Jet's bookshelf. Nice to meet you. Okay, so today I'm going to be teaching you, hopefully, how to get out of a book slump. I have been in quite a few myself, so I can relate, and these are the tips that usually work for me. I have quite a few, so hopefully if, one or two don't work for you, there's another one on the list that will. Okay, so the first tip I have is just pick up a new book, because the book slump you're experiencing might be from the book you're reading. So that could be like picking up a comfort read. So for me, my comfort reads, I have a lot, but like two of my main ones are Every Summer After by Carly Fortune and The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. These ones to me are just fast paced. They give me really cozy vibes. I love the characters. Probably this one more. But I love them both. They're definitely good comfort reads. And if you're experiencing a book slump and you want to read, but you just can't read the book you're reading, you could always just pick up a comfort read. If you'd rather read something new, you could even try a new genre. I was recently in a bit of a book slump. I was on a huge romance kick and I was just starting to get bored, so I decided to pick up a thriller. I picked up The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. I actually gave a little bit of a review of this in my previous video, which was my mid-year wrap-up, so if you haven't already seen that, definitely go check it out. So this was the first thriller I had read in a while, and this got me just right back into reading. I read this so quick. I read another thriller after it, and then it was just totally back on track. So I think if you're reading the same genre over and over and over, it can tend to get repetitive, a bit boring, so definitely try a new genre. Or you could even just try another book in general on your TBR. I personally was in the middle of reading a book a few days ago, and it's so far going good, but I'm like 100 pages in and I was getting really bored, and I found that I wasn't using my extra time to read like I wanted to. So I decided to just look through my TBR, and I ended up picking up Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch because I loved Love and Gelato. And I got through 150 pages of this in a sitting and I'm loving it, so that helped. Or you could even just ask a friend for a book rec and maybe hopefully find something good that way. Okay. So the other two tips I have would be, one, maybe just take some time away from reading. If you're forcing yourself to read and that's why you feel like you just can't read, you're just not interested in it, you want to do something else with your time, maybe just take a step back. Let your brain have a quick break. Even just like a day without reading might help you the next day get right back into it. Or if that's not something you want to do, you want to read, you just can't read, you could always just try setting a reading goal of the day. Like sometimes if I'm getting in the middle of a book and I'm like bored, but I have spare time and I want to use the spare time to finish a book, I'll tell myself,
okay, you know what? Just read 50 pages. Read 50 more and then,
do with your time what you will. You could always just try that. If you know you want to read in a day, but like you're struggling, just set a certain amount of pages you want to read or a certain amount of chapters. One thing I love to do when I'm starting to feel a book slump coming on is changing my location. So that could be just somewhere in your house, getting cozier somewhere else, or just like going outside somewhere and finding like a nice little spot. Like somewhere I love to read when I start feeling slumpy is the lake. I go find a spot near the lake and I'll bring any book and I'll just read it by the lake. And honestly, just changing my location helps so much. Like I'll literally drive down there, grab a coffee on the way, and then I have a coffee and I have the lake in front of me and my book, and it makes reading so much nicer and refreshing. Maybe look around where you live, see if there's any cute little outdoor spots, even if you have a cozy backyard. Now, if you're not capable of going out to read, maybe you don't have a car, you can't drive there, it's too far away, the weather's bad, whatever. Something I like to do if I want... You good? Okay. It's okay. Okay. Something I like to do in that situation is I will just curl up on my couch with a blanket and my book and a coffee or whatever, and I'll search on YouTube. I don't know what I'll search. Like ambience? I think it's called ambience. I don't know. But you can search up different like, you know, cottage core, whatever you want. And for like, you'll find those videos where it's like, oh, 8 hours of, you know, being by a lake, being by a fire, being in a bookstore. And you literally just have it on your television in front of you and it looks like you're in a different setting. That's fun too. Something that gets me so motivated to read is watching BookTube. So shout out to my channel, subscribe if you're not already, because watching me will get you out of your book slump, so you're welcome. Whenever I'm feeling really slumpy, I will put BookTube on, and just watching booktubers like, I like Destiny Sidwell, Alexa Ray, Sarah Caroli, just like watching all those different booktubers gets me, are you seriously right now gonna do this? He's playing with a door stopper. Watching booktubers puts me in such a happy, bookish mood, and watching these people enjoy reading so much and enjoy talking about so many different books and whatever, it gets me so hyped to read. So after watching BookTube for like an hour or so, I'm like,
Oh my god, I want to like cozy up and read too.
and then that's what I'll do. Okay, coming on to my second last tip is annotate as you read. Personally, I don't do this a lot. I have nothing against annotating, and the thought of drawing and writing in my book does not repulse me as much as it once did. It used to give me the creeps, but it doesn't anymore. I just don't find my... Jet. Stop. I just don't find myself doing it. But I can imagine that if I was in a real bad book slump, taking out a pen and just some tabs and just going at it, writing my thoughts and stuff, underlining, I feel like that would help entertain yourself and help you keep your attention on the book. Okay, my last tip might be weird or might not make sense to some people. I feel like it's kind of like in if you know, you know type situation. If you're in a book slump, reading on a Kindle or reading an ebook of some sort might help. Hear me out. So sometimes I find myself starting to get into a book slump when I feel like, you know, like if I'm getting into a book slump, I'll take my book and I'll be like,
Oh my god, how much longer is this chapter?
and I'll sit there and I will sit there and I will count the pages until the chapter is done. Or I'll look at the font and I'm like,
Oh my god, this is a big book and the font is teeny, teeny, tiny. I don't want to read. I have so much words on the page left to read. I have so many pages in the chapter left to read. I have so many chapters of the book left to read.
and then it becomes this cycle of instead of reading, I'm sitting there like,
Oh my god, there's so many words.
having a Kindle has been one of like my book slump savers. Because with my Kindle, I can turn off the page count thing so I won't know how many pages are left in a chapter and I don't worry about it. I can change the font. Like I love having a big font. So what I do on my Kindle, I'll show you right now. So if you see on my Kindle, I have the font like quite big. And I also, well right now, you can see 5 minutes left in the chapter. Come here, come on. Okay, there you go. So essentially, when I read on my Kindle, sometimes it helps me really escape into the book because I'm literally just reading. I'm not worried about pages or anything. For some people, that might sound dumb. That might be like, okay, well, what's the difference? That's not going to do anything. But for me, it's huge. And for some people, I'm sure it's the same type of thing. But altogether, those are my tips on how to get you out of a book slump. I really hope that if you use any of these tips, they really work for you. Anytime I've personally found myself in a book slump or going into one, I have personally kind of found these tips and these are what have helped me. So I'm really hoping that sharing them with you will do some good in the world. Anyway, if I missed any tips that you guys have that help, so I live in a zoo. Say hi. Oh, no, okay. Make sure to leave a like on this video and make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Follow me on my Bookstagram. All my socials are linked down below. And I hope to see you guys back in the next one. Until then.